Star Wars is in such a pathetic state right now. First, we had the garbage sequel trilogy. We had a great show, The Mandalorian, that was ruined because Gina Carano was fired over posting her opinions online. We've seen the massive hypocrisy that Lucasfilm shows, and then we've got terrible new novels coming out that only exist to push specific narratives into the franchise. And so Lucasfilm can go, look, guys, we can do diversity too, and now I think we can officially say that Star Wars has hit rock bottom because their newest character is a mother flippin' boulder. No joke. I literally saw this on social media and thought that this was a joke. I went, haha, you guys are so funny. We're memeing on Star Wars again, but no. I literally can't believe I have to say this. A boulder is a new character in Star Wars. So Star Wars The High Republic is an absolute embarrassment. New character is just a rock. A brand new character introduced in Star Wars The High Republic is literally a rock named Geode. I cannot believe that we are seeing Star Wars stoop to this level. Where did the good writers in Star Wars go? Why did we have to fire all of the good writers so we get Star Wars stories about rocks? So introduced in Star Wars The High Republic Into the Dark by Claudia Gray, Geode is the navigator of the starship called the Vessel that is piloted by Leox Gyasi and the Bine Guild. This is basically just a miniature monolith from 2001. Maybe because this person was a huge fan of Geodude from Pokemon as a child or had a pet rock when they were a kid and talked to it a lot. They said, I remember that. This is a great idea for a story. It just proves that so many people have such little creativity, and these are the people that are unfortunately getting jobs as authors right now. There have been rock-type life forms in sci-fi before, but they either had faces or could talk, and usually they take on an organic-looking form, but they're made out of rock like Geodude. But this is literally just a rock, and I guess Star Wars and creativity in general has just hit rock bottom. When he's introduced in Into the Dark, Gray writes, but all conversation came to an end as the Leox and Affy stopped their group at the edge of the cockpit, and this here, Leox said with a grin, is our ship's navigator, Geode. What is this, Pokemon? And the narration reads, standing in one corner of the cockpit was a rock. So rocks stand now, apparently. I don't know, I thought they were placed. Maybe they're sat in a corner? What do you mean standing in one corner? I didn't know rocks had legs now. It continues, about as tall and slightly wider than Wreath himself, dark gray was rounded edges and a flinty flaky surface. Impressive as rocks went, but still, it was just a rock, wasn't it? Wreath frowned. Sure, this was some kind of weird joke. But it's not a joke. One of the characters explains that he is a Vinitin from Vint, the pilot added. Geode's a nickname, by the way. Turns out you can't pronounce his name correctly unless you don't have a mouth. They are literally writing stories that are freaking jokes now. Apparently, he's a real-life living rock that's got a real-life story. Maybe he's got wife and kids, but you can't even pronounce his name, so they just call him Geode. Gray later writes, Leox cackled as he began leading them from the cockpit into the ship. Yeah, you just wait, but I don't want to give you fellas the wrong idea. Geode's a wild man for sure, but when it comes to steering the ship, he's all business. How could you trust a rock? How could you trust a rock to steer your freaking ship, to tell you where to go? So in a video shared to the official Star Wars website, the narrator states Leox Gyasi is the eccentric pilot of a vessel known simply as the Vessel, co-piloted by Affy Hollow and navigated by Geode, who appears to be a rock. They can't even come up with good names for starships anymore. They're literally calling it the Vessel. Come up with a cool name. Star Wars is so bland and boring now. Yes, The Mandalorian was good, but even if there is a season 3, most of us won't be watching it because they fired Gina Carano, and we don't even know where the story would go for that yet. But at least we could have had good, decent, well-written books, and we can't even have that because this person can't even come up with a name for a starship. Who thought, wow, we just read this story and thought that this was a great idea. This rock is going to be a really good sell for people. So artist Jake Bartok previously shared concept art of Geode to Twitter back in February, and he wrote, "I noticed there isn't any official concept art for Into the Dark's breakout star Geode yet. Here is my unofficial interpretation for everybody's favorite solid, stony-faced Navigator." You can't even put like a face on it or something? It's literally just a rock. This is so stupid. Why would they ever think that this was a good idea? This is how far Lucasfilm has fallen, because clearly we're talking about a Star Wars book. So there's got to be tons of different people who read the book, looked over the book, said that this was a good idea, said we are going to publish this. This is going to make us money. This is why Star Wars is failing. This is why people are so disappointed in Star Wars now, because we don't want to see stories about freaking rocks. We want to see stories about good guys versus bad guys, heroes versus villains. We want to see lightsaber battles and gunslinger battles. We want to see bounty hunters chasing after people, and we want to see danger and all of this excitement, and a rock can't provide any excitement to a story. This is the state of Star Wars. They unironically introduced a rock named Geode as the ship's navigator of a ship called the Vessel. I mean, this is so disappointing in my opinion. They'll probably give this rock more character development than Finn. I bet their Chinese overlords really love rocks. I mean, seriously, who decided to publish a book about a rock? How could this sell? This is a big issue. I've loved Star Wars novels in the past. I've read basically all of them. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I've loved Star Wars for most of my life, but this is so disappointing to see. The fact that they had the chance to publish an amazing book, they had a chance to publish amazing stories, and I was, not that excited for the High Republic just because we knew who was writing some of these books, kind of the general narrative behind the stories, but I was still going to give it a chance. But now we see that Star Wars at this point is, in my opinion, pretty unredeemable. They might put out one or two more good stories, but honestly, I think that Star Wars is just kind of dead now. I do not think that Star Wars can be pushed to the level that it used to be. I think that they've stooped way too low at this point. And honestly, can Star Wars be saved? I can't answer that question, but for me personally, I don't think that Star Wars will ever be the same. But let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.